Have you ever created a vision board only to wonder why it didn't seem to work? Or maybe you think to yourself, I don't have any dreams to create anymore. Or maybe a vision board isn't something that you've ever done and you're completely new to this. Well, I've been creating vision boards now for 15 years, and it really never ceases to amaze me how, a dream that's on a little piece of cardboard can go to actually becoming a reality in your life. One of my favorite examples, this is my favorite raincoat. When I first spotted it, it was in an Athleta catalog, and I was drawn to it immediately. And then I looked at the price tag, and it was way more than I felt good about spending on a raincoat, at least. And I don't remember the actual cost, but my brain says it was like $350. But I know that's got to be a huge memory distortion. It was probably something more like $150 or $200, something like that. Anyway, I cut it out of the catalog and I put it on my vision board, and about a month or two later, I was shopping at a Gap outlet store, and wouldn't you know it, there was the raincoat that I had been looking at on my vision board. It was a small fraction of the price because it had a little defect on it. I'm going to try and show you it here because you can barely see it, honestly. It's got these little, I guess like buttons, but they're not really buttons. See right there? Anyway, it was missing one at the very bottom. There's just this like really tiny little spot where one of those buttons were, so you can barely see it. Anyway, I was elated, and I'm still wearing this coat like 10 years later. That's just one example. And I've got an even more impressive one that I'll share with you in a bit. But the thing is, I know that vision boards work. So today I'll share why they work, a better way of creating and making a vision board, and some of my thoughts on creating a vision board for the retirement phase of your life. For those of you that are new to vision boarding, the simplest way I can think to describe it is that a vision board is really just a way for you to have a picture of the lifestyle or the life that you would like to create for yourself. And by looking at this vision of your life, hopefully daily, and really feeling what it would feel like if this was the lifestyle that you were living, then you essentially are giving your brain the information that it needs to begin helping you look for ways and for opportunities for you to actually make this become a reality. For things to change in life, we have to pay attention to what we want so that we will actually notice opportunities when they actually arise for us. A vision board can be used really as a tool for helping you remember to pay attention. And it also can help motivate you. And in this motivation, you're going to actually, by looking at it every day, get motivated to do things and take actions. And that's really what you need to make your dreams come true. Now, whether this is something like you need some more knowledge, so perhaps you're reading a book to help you learn more, or maybe you're learning a new skill. But making a vision board for retirement can actually be a lot of fun, because this is a great way to just spend some time exploring what would you really want for this next chapter at your life. I think it's also good, even if you've already been retired for some time now, you can still make a vision board for dreams of what you want still in your life. So before we get into my suggestions for a better way to create vision boards, I want to dispel the notion that once you hit a certain age or a certain time in your life that you're too old to dream, as this is really what vision boards are all about. I've held quite a few
vision board workshops, and I hear a lot of people saying that they are too old to have dreams. And I just don't believe that's the case. I think that our dreams just change when we're in different phases of our life. I was talking with my mother some time ago, and she was saying too that she didn't really have any dreams anymore. And so, when I think about what her dreams are, it seems to me like her dreams are things like she talks about really wanting to get her craft room to be all organized and looking great, or she talks about what she wants in her flower gardens. Now, those are completely different dreams than she had when she was younger, but I think it's still valid dreams of what she wants in her life right now. For many of us in our retired years, we have a vision of wanting good health, maybe to travel, spend more time with our family. And the other thing about dreams is they don't have to be about achieving something. I think when you get to the retirement phase of life, you may still have things that you want to achieve, but you also may be just more focused on simply being and doing fun things, or maybe expressing yourself creatively. And these type of things, they can be dreams as well. Maybe you've always dreamed about wanting to write a book, and this could be a great time to do that. Or maybe there's places that you've always wanted to visit and travel to, and maybe this is the time to do that. And I think all of those are dreams that we still have for our future. And a vision board is a great way to help us put our attention on these things so that we do the things we need to do and start working towards them and make them happen. In this phase of our life, I think it's okay to allow the focus to be on ourselves. So the focus should be on you when you create your vision board. So what is it that you want? I actually would really love to know what some of your dreams are, so I hope you'll share some of them with me in the comments. There also are always a number of people in my vision board workshops that don't know what they would like to do. And when they ask themselves the question, their mind is completely blank. And if this sounds like you, then you probably just need a little help getting your creative juices flowing in the right direction again. If you can relate to this, you may find my guide for creating your dream bucket list really helpful to you. So I'll go ahead and I will include a link to that in case you want to check it out. So my very first vision board was entirely focused on travel. I wish that I still had that board so that I could show it to you right now, because it was an amazing vision board success story. To make this particular vision board, I went out and I purchased a whole bunch of travel magazines, and I just began flipping through them, and I was cutting out pictures of all the places that I wanted to travel to in my lifetime. 2 or 3 years passed, and at some point I completely forgot about the vision board altogether, and I think it ended up getting tucked away in a closet somewhere out of sight. But the seeds had been planted in my mind, and in 2008, what began as simply a trip to Hawaii from my parents as a graduation present to my daughter kind of evolved from there, and it ended up being a 3-month excursion around the world. It was the trip of a lifetime for both of my children. And then sometime when we came back from that trip, I ended up stumbling across that vision board that I had created, and I was really shocked. I was amazed to see that there were only a couple places on that vision board that we hadn't gone to. It still blows my mind. And I mentioned that I cut pictures out of a magazine when I was creating this first vision board. And while it worked really well for that particular vision board, and the reason it worked well for it is because the magazines that I got were like packed full of all the exact places that I wanted to travel to. But most magazines really aren't going to be that specific for what you want in your life. So if you do decide to use magazines, it does help to try and seek ones out that are going to be very focused on what it is that you want in your life. I really don't do this anymore, as I found that it's really just too time consuming to try and find the images that look exactly like what I want to create in my life, and I try to get them as close as I can. So I tend to rely a lot more these days on internet searches instead. So that brings me to another key point that I really want to share with you. Many people, their method of creating a vision board is just kind of flipping through magazines, looking for things that they're drawn to, or that, they look at them and it kind of excites them. And you can do this, but really the closer you can get to creating the picture of what you truly desire in your life versus just flipping through the pages and then seeing some things that look good, the more powerful your vision board is going to be in getting you the lifestyle that you really want, or what you really want in your life. And you're going to be more motivated to do what you need to do to get it when you're seeing that actual image of it. So in my opinion, I think it's best to first find clarity on what you want in your life. And so that's why I always start my vision boards these days from the goals or the dreams that I'm currently working on. So what I do is I describe these in the front of my journal, and then I'm listing the things there that I'm going to do that season, because my journal is a seasonal journal. And I do that in my journal because that way I am looking at it every day. So reminding myself of the things that I need to do to begin to make that happen. And for the same reason, I put my vision board there as well. So it really helps to make it a process to look at it and use it daily. So this time when I got ready to find the images for this season's vision board, what I did was I looked at the description on my dreams page of the things that I was focused on, and I went ahead and made a list of the images that I wanted to find. And since it covers 2 pages in the journal, I decided to focus one side purely on the first dream that I'm working on, which is what I want to have for us in our retirement lifestyle and what I want that to look like. And on the other side, on the other page, I decided to focus that on my word of the year and helping me to remember what I need to do to live in alignment with that word of the year. So if you don't have a word of the year, if you're curious about that, that is actually the video that I did last week. So you can check that out if you're interested in finding a word of the year for yourself. Anyway, so I mentioned before that usually I look for my images that I want on the internet. And actually, I usually use Canva these days because it has a huge selection of images. If you're not familiar with Canva, it's a program that, it really makes designing super easy for those of us that are not graphic artists. It's really a lot of fun to use, particularly if you enjoy being creative this way. Anyway, they have numerous templates in Canva for all different kinds of things, including for vision boards. So for my vision board this season, I did use one of their templates, and I was able to find all the pictures that I wanted to use for my vision board this season in there as well. There is a free version of Canva out there, so I will put a link to that in the description in case this is new to you and you want to check it out. The other reason that I like to use Canva is it's really easy then to recreate it the next season, since I'm using a new one each season. And that way, there's a lot of things that I continue to work on the whole year. So sometimes I just swap out a few pictures, and it makes it super easy and really fast to just create a new one for the next season that way. So then I usually download it as a PNG file, and that way then I open up Word and I can just pull it into there as a picture in there. I like to do that because then you can just kind of drag and use the ruler up on the top to get it to the exact size that you want it to be. And that can be really helpful if you're wanting to put it in something like a journal like I do, or perhaps you want to put it in a picture frame. I think it works out really well to do it that way. The important thing is once you get it done, that you do want to put it in a place where you are going to be looking at it every day and feeling what it feels like as, you know, whatever's on your board is actually happening. So the last thing that I want to share with you about vision boards is that when you're looking at it, it's also really helpful to think about any roadblocks that may prevent you from having what's on your vision board become a reality. I think it was Andrew Huberman that this suggestion came from, and I thought it was a really good one. And the reason for doing this is that if you go ahead and think about what obstacles might come up, then you can come up with plans to overcome those obstacles. Absent doing that, your vision board can just become wishful thinking. And one last thought that I have too is that you really need to believe that what's on your vision board can and will happen. And believing is all about deciding what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. And you can change your beliefs. If this concept doesn't seem plausible to you, I do explain and show you how that this is true in my Secret to Creating Affirmations That Work course. It's a series of videos, and in this self-guided course, I teach you tools for managing your beliefs. If you change what you believe, you'll change how you think, and this really can change your life. The ability to manage your beliefs is so important that I devoted a whole section to it in my Slow Living Project coaching program as well. In fact, I was just talking to one of my clients in the slow coaching program the other day, and she was sharing with me how impactful the work that we had done for managing her beliefs had already been in her life. So I will put a link to the affirmations course in the description, as well as a link to the Slow Living program too, just in case you know this is an area that you could use a little bit more guidance and support in. So we've talked about quite a lot here today, so I kind of think it may be helpful to sum up some of the key points. Number one, it is never too late to dream. Dreams change, and that's okay. Number two, a better way to create a vision board begins with having real clarity on what you want and doing your best to create a picture of that, as opposed to randomly finding images that just look good. Third, searching for images on the internet and using a tool such as Canva can be a great way for making it really easy to create a vision board that is closer to the picture that you want to create for your reality. And then fourth, you want to look at your vision board every day, feel what it would feel like if these dreams were true. And just remember, this is the juice that your brain needs to keep your attention focused on doing what you need to do to make this dream a reality, and also so that you're aware and you're noticing, you're looking for opportunities when they arise that you can take advantage of as well. Okay, fifth, when you're looking at your board, it's also a good idea to think about what roadblocks are there so you can figure out a way around them. And then sixth, visualization is what keeps your attention focused and is what helps motivate you to take action. And lastly, it's important to believe that what's on your vision board can and will be a reality. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you sharing this time with me, and I really enjoy reading all your thoughts in the comments. So I do hope you'll take a moment to share a little bit about what you're dreaming about, what you're working on in your life right now. I also hope that if you know of anyone that also might find this helpful, to share the video with them. So thanks again for being here, and have an amazing week.